Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by BowTie Sports and hosted by Nick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense, Todd, and special contributor, Fox Sports reporter and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
Alrighty, welcome to the latest edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast. It's going to be a busy Monday, a lot going on in the Kansas City Chiefs nation, kingdom. We got another loss. We got border wars. We got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. I'm your host, Nick Athan, with Mr. Hense Todd, Mr. Lou Montagna,
Mr. Birthday boy himself,
Andre Tillman. Yes, before we get started, happy birthday, Hense.
Happy birthday
to this guy.
you.
And the new regime is on the way.
Birthday to
Are we gonna sing?
Happy birthday, dear Hensley. Happy birthday to you.
Cheers.
Thanks. But hey,
you turned 40 today?
I turned 39. 39.
Oh,
one more year to go.
Just under the wire. Nice.
Strong
Still in your
39.
30s. Damn.
Thank everybody for joining in. Thank everybody for supporting us. Hey, I'm a new Seahawks fan. If the Chiefs moves over there, I'm changing my colors, guys. I'm changing my colors. I moved to Seahawks. I'm just playing with you.
Yeah, it's just for the next
Nah. Hey guys, he ain't playing. He loved it there in Seattle. He was just trying to, take it slow. Just like we're about to go on right now. He's just taking it slow.
So you thought I was joking when I said we should adopt a different team for
I'm a Bills Mafia guy right now. It's all good.
Okay.
I'll just play it.
All right, Nick, you knew that's outside the spirit of what I was saying.
Yes,
we would adopt a team, anyone except the Buffalo Bills, right? Okay,
that's strictly from the fan.
That's just not really cool.
That's Nick, I think you hit a nerve with Lou. Lou
said,
"Hold on now,
that's not cool.
Hold on, we ain't talking about Buffalo."
So, if Cincinnati was in the playoffs, that would be another one on the list, right? If Baltimore was in another one on the list. Certainly, no one from the West. So it really narrows it down. I could see. If we adopted an AFC team, perhaps like Jacksonville, because they beat us and they never win. So Jacksonville would be one. But I would say let's go to the NFC, pick a team we like, and we'll cover them, for meaningful football.
We'll have that debate after the Raiders game. Yes, when we know the full playoff picture. All right, Hense, lead us.
Let's get into our sponsors. Underdog.
Hey, football's back.
Let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. You play $5 in bonus entries. Yes, it is legal in Kansas and Missouri. So if you want to play the pick'em game, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is sign up for an account, register. We make it pretty easy around here. Hit the QR code, put in the promo code Chiefs Blitz, set up your account, deposit your funds, play your first game, get a bonus for playing that first game, and you'll be in the rotation to win this Hall of Fame Super Bowl IV signed football by Johnny Robinson, Emmitt Thomas, Lenny Dawson, Willie Lanier, and the great Bobby Bell. It's all free, includes case and shipping and another gift. If we hit 100 total subscribers under our Underdog Fantasy account, we got some work to do, so I suggest people start doing it. Again, hit the QR code right there and play the game.
The value of that ball just went up because that's when the Chiefs used to be in Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see.
Mr. Denial over here. It's all right. It's all right.
Hey, don't to paper.
Hence being presented with more factual. There's pictures. There's announcements. All there. We'll see. Gracie wouldn't lead me astray. No way. She's got. She knows what's going on.
It's all what it is. All right. Let's get to. Obviously, you want to get to the news of the day.
I'm not worried about it. Go ahead. Get to the
hold on. So the news of the day. So Gardner Minshew's ACL is intact.
It's a bone bruise.
He is injured, but hey, back to the rescue at former SMU quarterback, and I believe previous to that, Texas at Austin quarterback Shane Buechele.
Shane Buechele is back. He's a fan favorite. He and Patrick Mahomes are close. The Chiefs need another quarterback. Obviously, Minshew's not going to play the rest of the year. So we have 2 games left. Denver Thursday night on Christmas, and then a week, 10 days later, the Chiefs travel to the Las Vegas Raiders. So with that news, all right. So basically, the breaking news as of this afternoon is that the Kansas City Chiefs will be leaving the state of Missouri and Arrowhead Stadium for a new domed, potentially retractable roof stadium that will be the eye of the Midwest. Now, if you are a purist, and there are a lot of you out here, and I'm one of them too, Arrowhead Stadium remains special on many, many fronts. Even though it's about 10 till 2. This is one of the renderings that was put up by Manica Architecture. Now, I don't think they're the firm. I think Populous will end up being the firm, but it's my understanding that the Hunt family had made the decision on Friday, that all these things came out over the weekend, that there was a special session, and then the governor was going to speak at 3:00, where she sent out a press release to all the major media outlets in the area and invited them for a special announcement for the area. That is those are the Lamar Hunt children. Obviously, they all had to sign off on this, but I think. I think we reported this back in February that Mark Donovan, the president of the Chiefs, was leaning very hard toward putting this facility in Kansas. There's a special session vote going on right now. It'll last till about 3:00. Mark Donovan, the president, the owner, Clark Hunt, is there representing the Chiefs. There are Chiefs flags everywhere. There's even a sign in the building that says Chiefs in Kansas. So what does this mean? This means that Clark Hunt is going to get a shiny new building. You're going to see a lot of infrastructure being built. You're going to see apartments, hotel, a casino, the practice facility. There's a lot of rumors out there, but the practice facility may end up being in Johnson County. I don't think it's going to be on site there. There should be a new Hall of Fame. Just because the city, Wyandotte County and the state of Kansas are putting in anywhere from $2 to $3 billion or more, it's going to be a lot more money that the Hunt family is going to have to spend, a lot more infrastructure. But this is a tough decision. I think for the family, I think it took quite a bit. It took a special offer, but I don't often give props to the people in Missouri, but Phil Devoto, who inherited this mess from Frank White, who created all this nonsense. I mean, the Chiefs, the Royals had a perfect stadium downtown, right next to the campus, but this is what the Chiefs wanted, and there's really no place in Missouri. Now, for those that are going to be afraid that the tailgating is leaving, no, they have plenty of land. You're still going to be able to tailgate. You're still going to have the experience. But this is a move that, the family decided to make. They had to vote. Obviously, the consensus was positive. A lot of people dropped the ball in Missouri, but I think this is the right move for the Chiefs. And what better timing, as Lou said, with the season in the tank, the Chiefs hoping to get a top 10 pick. And Patrick Mahomes is, recovering from ACL surgery and LCL surgery. So a lot's going to come out later today. I feel bad for the folks in Missouri, but they had plenty of time. The Chiefs, brought this up years ago and said, 2030 can't get here fast enough. We better make plans. And they tried a couple of votes. It didn't work. And here we are. Now, I don't know what the Royals are going to do. I'm assuming they're going to be in Kansas as well. We're just not sure. They're looking at the location at 115th and Knoll, and there are some legalities they have to work out and some things. But for right now, probably around 3:30 today, the Chiefs will accept the offer from the state of Kansas. They will start construction on their new facility probably sometime this year. And my guess is by the 2029 season, the new stadium will be ready to rock and roll.
Rhetorical question. Again, I asked it last show. Why does Missouri hate pro sports? Everybody leaves.
Yeah. It's political. The political agenda in the state of Missouri.
Rhetorical question.
Yeah, it's just bad. I mean, listen,
let's keep it positive.
Mayor Lucas, he just didn't do enough. Frank White didn't do enough. And it was too much for Phil DeVoto to clean up the mess that he inherited. Plus, you had a switch in governors, also this year too. So that made it difficult.
Other plus for those people that are geographically naive or whatever, now they can feel confident saying that the Chiefs are from Kansas.
Yes,
because there are many people that don't live in the Midwest that always have believed that the Chiefs play in Kansas, and that was always a weird thing. But so now they're good, no problem.
Right.
Well,
I'm excited.
Like I said, I'm a Seahawks fan going here on out. I'm changing my colors.
So, how did you come up with the Seahawks there?
Hey, I visit Seahawks.
We know you're a tremendous front runner.
Hey,
do you still follow the Cavs? They had such a great start to the last year.
I'll just mess with y'all. But again, hey, if the new stadium's there, if it's new stadium's not, we didn't hear pen from paper from the Chiefs. It's all speculation. Things are still out there in the air. We didn't hear from the word of the. We didn't hear for the horse's mouth. We didn't hear the horse.
Right. I got a couple more years. You got a couple more years, guys. Okay, a couple more years to.
So if they if the Chiefs,
I have breaking news.
The entire Chiefs brass show up to this meeting.
They did.
Right? They're not there to just see how the vote went, right? I think they're there to kind of coincide. It's a landslide vote, and here are the new proprietors. Let's go. We now own Kansas. Welcome to the hunt. Welcome to the
breaking news is the Kansas LLC has unanimously approved the Star Bond District for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are officially moving to Kansas. That's per Bob Fesco at 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City. So it is happening.
Y'all gonna battle? Are y'all two gonna battle all show?
No, I mean, hence, I think a lot of this was, some information, and I think the other was hope. He's an Arrowhead guy.
Hey, it happens. Hey, it is what it is. But again, I know a lot of fans are upset. I know a lot of fans in Kansas City are upset. I know because that's all I've seen on the Twitter feed. A lot of fans like, okay, this is the way that you can go out. Patrick Mahomes, you're losing the season.
Why wouldn't they?
We gave y'all all our. The fans are like, they are mad. The fans are upset. The kingdom is hot right now. Everybody's still, Arrowhead fans. If you go out there, check Twitter right now, check our posts. Everybody retweeting with a quote. They are very upset right now. No one is happy about this move, but Nick.
Yeah, well, no,
there's probably a handful of people that I tell you what. I believe the Hunts are very happy.
They're very happy. They're very happy.
Well, like I was saying,
maybe not all of the Hunts.
I was talking last night with my kids and stuff. I was like, so what happens when Patrick Mahomes retired? You lose, you know what I mean? You're gonna lose the core again. It's bad days, you know what I mean? The done is done. How you gonna fill that stadium? No, it's gonna be like the Cardinals. It's just gonna be a stadium there with no one actually there, nobody in the stands. It's just gonna be a big building and nobody.
That was a shot.
I'm just saying.
You've already
5 years there. Every 6 years, you have a roster evolution.
You're already.
You got kids who are playing 6th grade football. They're gonna have an impact on that stadium. So again, I think when we started preparing for the show, we really wanted to talk about the Titans game, which we will, and it was a pretty bad low. Of course, the stadium news came up. We kind of disagree on the stadium issue itself, and that's okay. At the end of the day, Carl Peterson taught me a long time ago the NFL is a business, and this was a business move for the Chiefs. And you can now go to your stadium, which is 15 miles away from the old one, and watch a Super Bowl game and watch a Final Four and watch mega concerts. And all sorts of things that you can do now.
Yeah.
In the revenue stream, and this is the way of change. And I can appreciate for the Hunt family how difficult this was to leave the place that their father built, and that was a huge. I think this deal would have happened a long time ago had it not been for that emotional tug to pay homage. I'm not smirking, Ruben.
They say he's hurting.
I'm not. I'm being respectful.
Hey, I'm not hurt. Like I said, I'm hurt.
I'm trying
like I said, man. I'm gonna say it like this. I know a lot of Chiefs fans.
He was kind of led astray.
I said a lot of Chiefs fans are upset right now. A lot of Chiefs fans are. Yeah. A lot of Chiefs fans are sad, because the season had ended, and then you get this news today. Hey, we'll see. Is it a good move, or is Lamar Hunt, is he rolled over in his grave right now?
No, it's not going to be a bad move.
I'm just saying, is he upset right now? There's something that he built, he left to his children, and
I'll give you the extra gas money, all right, to get to the stadium.
All right. Hey, Ray 12,001. I think this is a new commenter. Ray 12,001. A lot of fans from Kansas City, Kansas, and most of Kansas, including this season ticket holders from Topeka. You guys really think that Kansas wasn't Chiefs fans? Wake up and keep your memory.
There you go, Ray.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in, Ray. Thanks for coming in hot. Thanks for giving us your take. And we appreciate you being a Chiefs fan, and hope
we all Chiefs fans from everywhere.
And hope you stick with the show.
He said,
Chiefs fans are fans from everywhere. We all fans. Say Lou ain't from here. Lou is from Pennsylvania, and he's a Chiefs fan. We welcome all the Chiefs fans. Dre's all fans. Dre just NFL.
I love NFL. I love football.
He loves all the fun. So we welcome Kansas fans, Missouri fans. We all from all over. It doesn't matter. They still your Kansas City Chiefs. It don't matter where they play at. They still your team. Still your team to represent. But I don't know if I'm gonna be representing no more. That's all I'm saying.
Damn,
that's all I'm saying.
This show is going to take a turn. We don't know where it's going yet, but it's going to take a turn. Do you guys expect maybe new colors?
No, I don't think
new uniforms.
Oh man, I'm tired of that bland shit.
I mean, I think you got the KC on the logo, so you have to really look at it and say,
Or do they add like a little sticker with like the outline of Kansas?
I don't know how they're going to
back of the helmet.
It might be true. They may have to make some changes.
Put a little Kansas flavor on there.
My Chiefs memorabilia is going to be worth more money. I love it.
A little salute to.
They may have to come up with a new Arrowhead logo.
They gotta change it up now. New stadium. You gotta change the gear. You gotta change the gear.
Or better yet, how about like just a little outline of Dorothy and Toto
in the back of the little decal?
Yeah, on the back of the helmet.
Welcome to Oz.
Right, so
go ahead, Hense.
The ruby red slippers are undefeated, man.
Hey, that's the news today. That was the show today. Thank you guys for joining in.
It was a great show, guys. It was an awesome show, man.
Well, again, I'll just mess with your child. I'm always a Chiefs fan at heart. That's always been my team since I was a little. But I am upset about the stadium move.
Yeah, let it out.
It's a classic car. It's a classic car. You don't mess with a classic car. But
not to mention the information you would glean on your evening walks around Arrowhead.
Yeah. You got 3 more years to do that before that place comes tumbling down.
Guys, listen, you got 3 more years to embrace Arrowhead.
You got to go find yourself a condo near the new place.
I ain't going over there. It stinks over there.
Did he say it stinks over there, sir?
It does. You know for sure. If you're from Missouri, when you go cross over in Kansas, it kind of stinks.
It smells pleasant. It smells pleasant.
Is it because of cattle? Is it like? Is there a lot of cattle there, or what?
I don't know.
No,
I just found out I was wrong.
It's a lot of money there, Lou.
The stadium will be ready in 2031. That's the
rubber factory.
We're still 5 years away.
There you go, guys. Get your head out your ass. Y'all be okay. It's okay. I have 5 years to win more Super Bowls.
5 years.
I can say
Patrick Mahomes will be 36 when the stadium opens.
So Patrick Mahomes' era ends at Arrowhead.
Only if, well, according to Nick, only if that concrete holds out. I'm sure they're all scared to death. That place is about to crumble, and they'll be playing in the parking lot.
But again, well, hey, thank all y'all for coming in. We all still Chiefs.
My family knows concrete, Nick. We'll send somebody out. We'll get it fixed.
Everybody still get the barbecue. Everybody still get to rape the jersey. But again, that's a good statement that Lou made. Will they change the logo?
On Sundays it'll smell great, Hense. On Sundays you can smell the barbecue for miles.
But would they change the colors, or would they change the logo? Would they change the KC? I don't know if they changed the logo. You know what I mean? I think the logo will still be the. It ain't Arrowhead no more. So would they change?
That's such an image.
How's the indigenous population in Kansas?
Well,
it's kind of weird. It's kind of spread out, so it's going to be interesting to see how that. I mean, you get a lot of people from the Kansas side, like Johnson County, Wyandotte County, Topeka. You know, you get a lot of people from the Kansas side. And remember, when they built the stadiums, they had to do a by-state tax. When they rebuilt the stadiums, when they did the massive upgrades. It had to be a bi-state solution. So Kansas, Johnson County, Wyandotte County, Clay County in Missouri, Jackson County, they all had to agree, to approve the tax for that cost. And then ultimately it was the taxpayers in Jackson County who were afraid. Now this deal is completely different. It doesn't require any taxpayer assisted funding. Now the Star bonds are a little like, they're like free money. But at some point you got to pay for them. But it's so far down the line that virtually it'll get paid or it goes away. It's kind of weird.
For the people that purchase, or like financial institutions that purchase them, don't they get paid like
they get dividends,
or interest, or bonds.
You buy the bonds, you get dividends. So it's a little complex, and it's kind of like. But the entire complex was built that way.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Whenever you come to Kansas City, Lou, when you go over there, you're going to see, all these shops, district, housing, not housing, but, restaurants, everything there.
I'm just praying that I live long enough to see it.
Well, 2031, that just kind of put me in.
So Mahomes will be 36 years old. It's time to draft another quarterback anyway. So I'm not tripping on it, man.
I think they'll draft a quarterback this year.
Be a lot going on at that point.
We got a lot going on.
All right, so that's
maybe y'all get
stuff.
more. Maybe y'all get more in the draft. Maybe
great
y'all
for
get more for love.
Great for the Hunts. Mark Donovan. Hopefully this will kind of cement like his legacy to the Chiefs. That's probably
he wants to be NFL commissioner, and he's going to get a good jump.
That was probably part of it there. But hey, there was a game yesterday. I don't know if you guys knew about it. But
all right, Hense, you haven't shown any other pictures because you don't want to talk about this anymore. I know
this
all these great quotes and all these great images, and you haven't shown any of them.
The current, the current. I don't know, iteration of the Kansas City, Missouri Chiefs did play yesterday, and it didn't go quite. Well, maybe it did go exactly how we expected.
I know we drafted some rookies, didn't we? Did we draft some rookies?
Holy crap! Is that the most unflattering picture of Andy Reid you can find? Oh my god! That's got to be the biggest shirt I've ever seen.
Oh, Lou,
go ahead. We're gonna go to the
my goodness, a new low. A new
low. Here we go. Andy Reid's era. Go ahead.
All right. Did Titans lot seal the fate of certain coaches on the Chiefs staff?
I think we're all in agreement. I think they weren't. Listen, we didn't expect them to win, but we did expect them, despite the fact that they lost Minshew, to see some young guys out there who really need to show if they have any cause to have an impact next year. We got 3 draft picks, 4, 5, and 7, who didn't barely touch the field. 3 if you go to Royal, so 4 draft picks that barely touched the field, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. And either that's a lack of trust with Andy Reid with his coaching staff to get these kids ready. But I think you're going to see some changes. I do expect, this is just my opinion, that Matt Nagy probably is not coming back. He didn't renew his contract. I think there'll be a new offensive line coach, receiver, and running backs coach. I think the new offensive coordinator, if I had a pick, it'd be Mike Kafka. Bring him back. He's worked well with Patrick. But I think, I think there's some question. They have to make some changes. It's going to cost the Hunt family a little money because some of these guys have guaranteed contracts for a couple years. But if Andy's going to be in charge of this quote unquote rebuild, then he needs younger coaches. He needs guys that aren't going to be yes men, and eventually find his successor because he's going to want to be part of that choice. And I think it begins with Mike Kafka or, Cliff Kingsbury would be my choice too. But I think Matt Nagy, I think he's more in consideration for the Tennessee Titans job than people realize because of his relationship with Mike Boganzi. I feel very strongly that he's going to probably be in the final 2 or 3 picks. He's going to be able to interview right away, right after the season's over. If he didn't already have a quote unquote conversation with the Titans while they were in Tennessee, wouldn't surprise me either. But for sure, I think Matt has done the best he can, and I give him a lot of credit for developing Patrick initially and doing the best that he could. But I think people still view him as a potential head coach, and I just have a feeling that he might not be back. Nobody's told me anything. It's a hunch.
Do we want him back? You know what I mean? That's the question. Do you look at this coaching staff? Do you want half of them back? After we seen what yesterday, I know it's some practice squad, offensive linemen and this and that, but it was like the practice squad going up against the number 1 defense of the Titans. But other than that, man, do you want this? Not just from yesterday game throughout the season. Do you want half of this coaching staff back? That includes on the defensive side of the ball as well. Some shape up has to be given. Not some guys that have already been on Andy Reid's staff or, right. I mean, that already been in the building. It needs some new blood. So maybe some guys from college, you can bring up to be an offensive coordinator. Maybe you go plug some guys, that guy that I really like is, Cliff, from the Washington Commanders, let him know that, hey, you're going to be a new head coach in 2031.
No, he didn't even do that.
You get the new stadium.
I don't think that's a selling point for Cliff. I really
he's going to coach one more year.
That's you get to be a coach here, and you get a new stadium.
It sounds good, but I think he's probably got his designs on a head job before that.
Yeah. But other than that, man, everybody knows it's the guy that's in front of the fork right now.
Yeah, why are we throwing him under the bus? Aren't there other people? We don't have any other pictures.
I'm just saying that's the guy that everybody wants. Everybody's calling for Matt Nagy. Nobody else.
Matt Nagy must go, guys. The offense been terrible since he took over. They've been barely scraping the surface. It hasn't really been explosive at all. Watched the game yesterday. The personnel sucks. The personnel, like, they didn't start none of the rookies for real. It's like, what are y'all playing for? They ain't playing for shit. Put the rookies in there. I want to see Royal. We didn't see Royal yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That was the main guy. And then your guy, Brashad Smith, right, Lou? Where the hell was he at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all playing for? Let these guys go out there and eat. I want to see who Royal is. Is he an X receiver? I don't know. I want to see Smith. Is he explosive? We don't know. Do you know why we don't know? Because of the coaching staff. They don't put him in the offense for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, Nagy got to go. I blame it on Nagy. You the offensive coordinator. You control the personnel group when it comes to that. No, you got to go, man.
I wanted them to lose. I ain't mean to cut in front of you, Lou. I wanted them to, get to draft picks, but not lose like an embarrassing fashion like they did yesterday.
So,
it was embarrassing.
So we want him to tank, but
not like
we don't want him to tank like this. And what do you want? Make up your mind. Make up your mind.
Get the butt kicking like that, but not by the time. Right. It looked bad all the way around. Go ahead,
if we're doing a little too well, then we'll ease off the gas and we'll lose on purpose at the end. No, I mean if you're going to go into the situation. Hey, the offense didn't look good with Patrick in there when he was healthy. So how much better was it going to look? With
who you put that blame on, Luke? Who you put that blame on?
Quarterback. So as far going to answer this question, it didn't matter what would happen in that game, win or lose. If there was decisions going to be made on the coaching staff, it doesn't matter what's going to happen over these next 3 games, right? I mean, everything leading up to this point would lead you to that particular decision, either keeping them or firing some. Now, I would imagine just because the season was such an abject failure that they're probably going to, Clark or whoever, Veach, whatever, is going to go to Andy and say, hey, we got to change something. Right? We don't have a ton of money to spend on free agents, right? I mean, maybe we'll be able to bring in a couple free agents here and there. It's going to be primarily through the draft, but maybe we need to shake up on the coaching staff. So, I mean, I don't think this loss said one way or the other, but to Nick's point, I said it in the chat. If Andy is going to have a say in who the OC is, it's going to be somebody that's been associated with him, knows what he likes to do. Doug Peterson, Mike Kafka.
No more Doug Peterson.
Maybe Brian Dable, because he's kind of Andy Reid.
He'll be a candidate too.
He's kind of Andy Reid adjacent, but I think Brian will be up for some head jobs, depending on how many people get fired, right? Because I don't know how many. Because you haven't really heard too many. Like before, it was all about the offensive coordinator in Detroit. All of a sudden his name's escaped me. The coach for the Bears.
Right.
Because he was like the candidate for 2 years, turns down Washington at the last minute, goes back to Detroit, has them rolling, goes to Chicago now. He's got them rolling. So I don't know that there's anybody out there right now that has that kind of, hey, we need to get that guy right now.
That's the problem.
So here's the thing, as far as Andy's concerned, if they can talk him into going in a different direction. So where do you go? Again, it's going to be West Coast roots, which again, you look maybe on Sean McVay's staff or on Shanahan's staff, AOC's staff, Mike McDaniel's staff in Miami, which they're all going to be looking for work, I would imagine, or some of them will, but he might be safe. But they do run a version of the West Coast offense, not just the way Andy does. So that would be a good thing.
Right.
They're a little bit more versed in the running portion of that because they came up under Mike Shanahan.
Yep.
So that could be a good thing if he decides to do that. But in my mind, I'm just thinking of Coach Reid and what he's going to be stubborn. This is what got him his wins. This is what got him his head job. This is what got him Super Bowls. So he's going to stick with what's familiar. So it's going to be Mike, or it's going to be Doug Peterson if he's going to get back into coaching. So
I like Daniel.
We'll see. But again, yesterday's loss had nothing to do with them making any coaching decisions. I think if that's going to happen, they've already kind of decided what they were going to do.
Right.
So what Daniel Goring said?
Nate Shieldhouse, passing game coordinator on the Rams.
Yeah, I like that choice.
And there's plenty of guys out there, talented young guys, but again, that now you're taking a jump. It's not just, hey, they know this offense and whatever. Can they take a leadership role, like of a coordinator? Are they ready for that jump? So I'm not saying that Nate Shieldhouse isn't, but that's part of the interview process, is to see, can they lead a group of people outside of just coaching a position?
Right.
All right. Next question.
All right. So how does Andy orchestrate the rebuild?
Kind of what we answered before, but I think, obviously coaching, but I think the second is he and Brett Veach need to get on the same page. And I don't think they've been on the same page certainly the last couple of drafts. I think the issue is, and I've said this before, and I'll stick by it. You look at the Broncos and the Chargers draft. What do? They get playmakers and they get guys that they know are good football players, and they leave it up to the coaches to coach them up and get them ready to play and be productive. We haven't seen that coach up with the Royals. We haven't seen it with Smith. Bassa hasn't gotten any playing time. Noah Williams has kind of played a little bit here and there. He's kind of been hit and miss. Galati's the only guy that's at this point. Now, Simmons clearly was a great left tackle before his injury, but 1 out of 6 picks is contributing, and that's not good. So
he had some injuries too.
I realize I realize the injuries are part of it.
Norman Lott was going to play a significant role, I believe.
The bottom line is, with the players they have available, they didn't coach them up to convince Andy to let them play, or the coordinators, or whatever the hierarchy is. That frustrates me. It frustrates the fans. You do all these snap counts, and you see, listen, Demisha made a great point. They move up, they give up a draft pick to draft Bassa, and he can't even get on the field, and he's their fastest linebacker.
Exactly.
Even if he fails, it's okay. Get him some learning experience, because we've seen the drop-off in some of the guys who played really great last year, but this year, defensively, they just haven't stepped up. So that's I think where it begins and ends. He and Veach, Andy's going to stay. He's going to come back next year. I do think 26 probably is going to be his last season. That's just what I think.
Got a lot of money coming.
Yeah. It's all guaranteed. He's going to get it regardless if he retires or not. So I think Clark Hunt will be appreciative of what he did. But now you got the announcement today. You got Patrick coming back, a little bit of an unknown, that we all know Patrick well enough to think he's going to be ready. But Veach and Reid have to be on the exact same page and say, okay, this is who we're drafting. These are the players we're going after. Do what the Chargers did. Do what the Broncos did. And, look at Harvey. We talked about Harvey quite a bit. And the only coach that felt like he could have an impact is the one he got, drafted to. And they traded up to get him. A significant trade up. So that's the kind of stuff they have to do. If they think Love is the guy, and let's say Love is projected to go at 8, they got to jump to 7. They have to be ultra aggressive and get the best kind of players and get the better coaching staff so you can ramp back up. That's the only way Andy's going to succeed.
I'll say he had to change his game plan. Everybody, you got to change the way he look at things. He can't coach this team like he got a Tyreek Hill out there and a Xavier Worthy. He can't coach, calling these plays like he got, that group of guys all together again. Travis Kelce has showed that he was declining a little bit. The wide receiver core they built like they try to, have a, it's drafted Xavier Worthy, thought he'll be like a Tyreek Hill replacement. This draft, they need to look at guys and try to rebuild this whole scheme, because a lot of this, if your plays are to tell by hand, like playing cards or playing blackjack or something like that, somebody can tell what you got in your hand. You need to switch up your tendencies. You need to switch up, what you do at the table, and that's what Andy Reid need to do. The play calling need to change up, and it starts
throwing your cards in. Hense, you're just going to fold.
No, I'm just saying,
you
got to change up stuff. You got to change up everything. You can't just come out here and I got Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna run this play like I got Tyreek Hill at wide receiver. No, you can play up to your guys' strength and they ability. So that's what I'm saying.
And listen, man, the Chiefs been flat ass, man, for the last couple of years, man. And I'm so disappointed because Smith was the guy. I thought Smith would be the guy with speed, agility, mismatch out the backfield. I said, guys, why didn't they use this man? I was excited, and we talking about Love. I'm not knocking Love, But Smith, we don't know what Smith is. We don't know, is he the candidate? Is he the guy? We don't know because of the low snap count. He's not even in the game for real. So we don't know, man. I'm like, even if we do get Love, Love's going to start immediately. Because the way this offense is going, they don't put their starters out there like that for real. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the rebuild, Royals, I'm like, damn, I want to see what Royals can bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Royal. The whole game yesterday was about Royal and Smith. I want to see Royal. Right. Damn everything else. We know the Chiefs are with what they got. Let's see Royal.
You're not going to see him. You're just not.
And I don't. But why draft a guy you're not going to use him?
I just told you why. They can't coach him up. They can't get him ready to be productive.
Exactly. So now the coaching has to change. But again, Andy Reid, to me, maybe he's stubborn. I don't know.
He is.
Maybe stuck in his ways. I don't know. That has to change, because if it doesn't change, it's going to be the same outcome for next year.
Yeah, Andy's going to have 1 year to fix this. And that's it.
Not necessarily, I guess, stuck in his way. I think he knows what the scheme can be, because they had a couple of cheat codes for a few years and the league didn't know how to handle it. Tyreek, Travis in the middle. The offensive line was blocking because they specialized in those deep over routes. Anybody that went long, you had somebody trailing behind about 20 yards and then flying across the field. And usually that's where Patrick, if he bought some extra time, was making hay, just throwing the ball back across the field. And he just doesn't have time to do that. So a lot of the things that really work for them, and Travis was just crushing anybody, any defense, whether it was man-to-man, zone, or whatever, and he just owned the middle of the field. So you just had a couple of cheat codes on offense, and that was part of what covered up some of these deficiencies that they have now. So in terms of the rebuild, I think it's really going to come down to him figuring out how good these guys are that they keep. In other words, how are they going to make this scheme function with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and now Jalen Royals as your number 3 receiver, unless, they bring in somebody else, right? Because I don't know that Juju stays. I don't think Hollywood's going to be back. No. Again, they would be signing veteran minimums to even consider it, really, for the team to even consider it. So that's going to be part of it. And a lot of it is going to be through the draft. So hopefully some of these draft picks from this year, they get healthy and they play. As far as, Brashard and Jalen Royals not playing, you keep hearing about how complicated this scheme is to learn, but
not now.
But you don't see it. It looks again, maybe it's just because of the players that are trying to run it.
Right.
It looks overly simplistic to me because it's just fail.
And what does that say about the guys you drafted, Lou?
So what I'm saying is that they have to, for the guys they have, simplify it a bit, but they do have to change it up because these guys aren't the cheat codes that you had before. That's why with Tyreek, all of a sudden D-Rob could make plays. And then you saw it when he went to the Rams, it got him in another free agent deal with San Francisco. Now he was injured and really didn't play much, but you saw him making plays for other teams, some of these other guys. So I don't think it's necessarily the players, but how they intended on using them has to be studied and figured out. What do we do to make this guy more successful? And it might have to do with protection too, because you see so much of the passing game is either behind or near the line of scrimmage. And you can't do that as a staple. I mean, it's not good enough. You got to be able to get the ball downfield, and that might have to do with some of the offensive line issues. And maybe that's potentially where you see a change on the coaching staff as well.
Right.
Yeah. So how excited are the fans about this offseason? Because we, looking at the game yesterday, You know what I mean? It's like ain't nothing to watch. You know what I mean? You're watching preseason. You're expecting the guys to be in and not in and not in. So
well, it's not. We can say preseason, but it's not because it's a regular. It's no, because it's a regular season game for the other team, and they're playing.
How did you feel?
They're playing their asses off with their best players.
How do you feel watching the game yesterday? Did you feel like
it was basically unwatchable because they just don't look like a functioning NFL team. And
that's not the question, though.
Well, no. My point is that you can't really judge the team at this point, right? Basically, right now is get through these games. Hopefully, you don't suffer any more catastrophic injuries on anybody that matters, right? And as far as the fans are concerned, they should be excited about it because it's a chance that maybe just the team, meaning the front office, sees this as a chance to reset. This is the point of Patrick's career where we shift. And maybe it came a little sooner than they expected. Maybe they didn't expect a catastrophic injury to be part of it as well. Or a year where they're lucky to have won 6 games, it looks like. So you should be excited. I think Veach is going to have a decent draft. It really is going to come down to using the players how they fit best, or find some other type of scheme that suits them better. Because what they're doing now, they either don't fit it or it's just not working.
Yeah, I think the fans wanted to be excited, with watching a lot of these younger players, and we didn't get that. So I think if you look in the offseason, I think you look at 2 things. One, we talked about it to ad nauseum, the changes on the coach staff. But B, the Chiefs are going to be able to draft anywhere between 8 and 15, 16. So they're going to get a productive player. And obviously,
I think it's going to be between 8 and about 10 or 12 because
I'm just saying it depending on.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think
I'm just giving the range just in case something happens.
They would have to win those 2 games.
Right, they'd have to win the 2 games.
They may move up some, but
either way, right now they're 12. I think if they settle at 10, what's the last time they were 10?
They should get an impact player at that position.
Right. And I think what's important to look here. I think what's important is everybody understand, and they have to look at themselves in the mirror. And as a fans, we have to do one thing that I hope we don't do. We have got to appreciate the last 7 years.
It's over with.
Hold on,
Nick. It's in the past.
Just let me finish.
It's okay.
It's let's appreciate what we witnessed. Now,
windshield, not the rear view.
Now that we're scraping the bugs off the windshield. Now it's like, okay, let's take a look at what we really are. I'm actually excited that this happened. I think we all agree deep down that at some point this was going to crash and burn. And if they crash and burn with a 10 or 11 pick, I'm ecstatic. I mean, I don't like the way it ended. I don't like the fact that they didn't meet expectations. But we could see this game 1 against the Chargers that they were not in sync, and the little tick, and we're just really close there.
Seattle.
Yeah, all that stuff. So I think for me, I'm actually excited about the offseason. I think they're going to have some cap space. I think they are going to make some moves, getting rid of quite a few veterans that are probably making too much, and they could cut them all, a lot of them next year. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be more involved in the makeup of the team. I think Andy's going to be rejuvenated. Well, you know what I mean. But I mean, he's going to be rejuvenated. Hey, listen, if he says to Andy, bring in Cliff Kingsbury, whatever it takes, our offense is going to go. They're going to listen to him when it comes to some of these things. Because
you brought me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I want to hear nothing else you got to say.
You're gonna have to give some sort of compensation that's not money to the Commanders to get, and then you would have to name him assistant head coach and offensive coordinator, because if it's not a promotion, they don't have to let him interview. They don't have to let him go.
Right. Listen, whatever they do, I think for a fan perspective, this is your chance for a reset. and let's not hope it's for 2-year rebuild instead of 1 year. Well, who's this? Slam and
I'm laughing
Sammy
at
Joe?
King Sinclair.
Slam and Sammy Joe. Let's go, Sammy Joe. I've seen a lot of people not wanting to draft a first-round running back. So here's an alternative direction to go. Draft Mansour DeLone from LSU. He's a corner, guys. Keith Abney in the 2nd round and trade McDuffie for future picks. Well, Slam and Sammy, that seems to be a very popular thing. Moving on from your all-pro corner, but hey, if somebody gives them the Godfather deal for McDuffie, like Kansas gave the Hunts the Godfather deal.
Is it the Godfather deal?
The Godfather deal, an offer you can't refuse. And then they lay out a couple of high draft picks, and you say, well, let's go. All right, fine. We'll do it. Ken, get out of here. Okay. We get it. You're trying to be a comedian now. We're not having it. Not today, Ken.
Ooh, it's some salt in that person. Now,
Hold on, I didn't get.
Go ahead, Bo.
But what I just say this:
Where is Todd? By the way, where is Todd?
He'll say, bring it. I'll just say, man, I think they should be excited. You know what I mean? But should they actually be excited? We want to see what I'm excited to see what Brett Veach does with these high picks. Right? I want to see. I actually want to see what you do. You out here, you got the luxury guys. You got Patrick Mahomes at the throne for at the quarterback helm. Then I want to see what you do with this. How you rework this salary cap. You know what I mean? I know Lou said, the Clark Hunt and them only give him so much max of the money. So he has so much to spend.
Yeah,
I want to see
every team has a budget.
Right.
I want to see. They got a limited budget now. They don't got to pay for much. If they get Kansas, so they got a limited budget. So I want to see what they actually does, what Brett Veach does with this pick. You know what I mean? Do he actually build this team the right way? Because this is like Nick said, this is gonna be probably the last time that you pick high. So I want to see what he actually does with this.
Knock on wood.
What he does with these high draft picks. Do we fix the salary cap? Because you can't trade Chris Jones. His cap hit is too high.
No, they'll redo his contract. They're going to
redo his contract. You know what I mean? But other than that, you got to build around this Patrick Mahomes. You know what I mean? You got to build around your ultimate roster, like I've been saying. Like my son asked me yesterday, he was like, "You think if the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl, or you think they team gonna be trash?" I said, "No, because they got guys after guys after guys. They got backup after backup. They can replace another guy they got up there. So that's what I want to see." That's why I want to see what this Kansas City Chiefs team.
You also want to teach the young man about team chemistry and culture and all that stuff, because that's one thing that is a little shaky over there. They draft well. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie's got an almost unlimited budget. Kroenke in LA. The Waltons in Denver.
Oh, they're building their own stadium with cash.
So you got certain places where there's just so much money that it's a little bit easier. God bless the Hunt family and what they do, everything else. But and I'm not making excuses for Brett. You still need to draft well. That's the most important thing, because as long as you've got centerpieces that you're paying big money to, you have to hit on draft picks or you're never going to win consistently. So that's
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm excited. The fans should be excited as well, guys, because we don't know what the hell the Chiefs gonna do in this offseason, man. That's why it's a toss up. You don't know what direction they're gonna go.
It's the unknown.
They might go in the right direction. Yeah, they might go in the right direction. They might not. They might keep certain players. They might not. We don't know. That's why it's so exciting in the offseason, because as fans, we like, man, I'm so dialed in. We might get pissed off. You might not.
Maybe they trade the pick for Justin Jefferson.
Right. So we don't know. It's the fact, it's the culture in Kansas City, man. Like Lou stated, the chemistry. Do you get guys that fit the aura of Andy Reid? Do he fit the mold of what Andy Reid wants to do? So that's, to me, is what I want to see. I want to see, like, are they going to pick certain guys that fit the mold of Andy Reid? You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, because you just the unknown. You just don't know.
Did Hense just wish himself a happy birthday in the chat?
Yeah. hey, celebrate. Don't forget it's my birthday. Don't forget it's my birthday.
Things we do around here to promote Hense Todd.
All kidding aside, they will not trade
whatever, Ruben,
for a high priced veteran. That kind of goes against
a chance.
That goes against the whole thing. You want
not
somebody that's
that boy hustling, boy.
I mean, you want somebody that is an impact player that you've got cost controlled, right? I could certainly see them trading back to get more picks in this particular draft because they only have 5 or 6 picks.
Dame a Capricorn.
But Lou, if they do that, if Tate's sitting there, if Love's sitting there, would you still trade back to get more picks?
I would take the impact player. I mean, unless they just know they've got a couple of guys that they've got kind of in their mind. They feel
they've been having a couple of guys for a couple of years.
They're going to be available later in the first round. Maybe if they can get 2 first round or get an extra second or whatever it is, maybe they do it. But I say again, this is I don't want to say a once in a lifetime opportunity. Knock wood that it is, and they get things rolling back next year. But you want to get an impact player. And I would say you probably would take, again, this is the whole running back thing that you might only have them for 4 or 5 years. You might take, if you feel that Carnell Tate is a true number 1 receiver and he can play in any scheme you draw up for him, maybe you take him instead.
We'll see. But to
me, I think it's if there's one of those the kid from Auburn, the kid from Texas Tech, edge rushers that if you feel that this is a guy that can get to the quarterback on a regular basis, you got to go after that.
They got 2 good edge rushers, 2 sweet edge rushers.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if they picking this high, man, when the season, like somebody put out something earlier, I don't remember his name. But he said if this happened, that happened, the Chiefs could have the 7 or 8 pick.
It could certainly happen.
A lot has to happen.
But they could certainly move up a little bit because, like, if the Saints, I think are at 5 wins now. I think Atlanta is at 5 wins now. The Bengals, I think, are at 5 wins now. So if those teams win a couple of games,
it's all based on strength of schedule. And the Chiefs have
no. I'm saying they would, if they get to 7, now all of a sudden the Chiefs jump over them, regardless of strength of schedule.
I would love to see that. If the Chiefs end up if the Chiefs are between 8 and 10, that'd be magic.
If we want to prepare the fans, it's not going to look much different these next 2 games.
No.
They may play a little bit better because some of the guys, especially Oladokin, that those were his first snaps in a real regular season NFL game. He's played in preseason. Obviously, we've seen him, but that was it. So and he's got a little juice to him. He's got a pretty decent arm. And so, but again, he really hasn't practiced with anybody. So maybe, again, it's a short week. So he's not going to get a ton of work, a bunch of walkthroughs or whatever. So this could get really ugly Thursday night. If you got something else to do, like on Christmas and have your family, maybe you play.
It's going to be 7:30.
Maybe play like Cards Against Humanity with your family. That's always a good laugh, right?
So question for Nick.
Yes, Mr. Todd.
Is your
this better not be about the politics of Missouri? Damn it!
All right, what's happening?
I just said I was thinking about something. Are your variables and backup you going to be worth a little more or a little less? Because
that's a good question. You're the third person who has said something to me about that today. I think it's going to be more valuable, to be honest with you, because when you have the opportunity, like my mini Len Dawson collection signed helmets, I've got 12, 13, 14 of them. They all got different emblems. They all say different things. They're all from different periods of time, and they're far more value than just a normal Kansas City Chiefs. If they somehow change the logo,
that's the key.
That this little room here could probably double in price. I'm pretty confident about that.
Yeah, if they made any significant changes to the look of the team, look of the uniform, anything like that, which I was just joking. I don't think they'll do that. But if they did, I think then you've got something, because now that's it. That would be the scarcity level would ratchet up.
Can I make it to 2031? That's the question.
Well, we'll handle it for you, Nick. I mean,
I thought it was interesting that they said 31 today, and then I just was looking, and the Chiefs can buy out the last couple of years. If they think they can build it sooner, they will. They'll just buy out that year's lease.
Yeah, you would think, because
that's not going to be a problem.
I mean, look at that. I mean, the Bills got that stadium up in a hurry.
So
I think they're playing in it next year.
So the seats going to be up for sale. So
PCLs will be very popular in this new stadium. Yes.
PS.
Would Missouri still keep the stadium for college games? I don't know.
I would. I created it some sort of modest revenue source, but the Chiefs are probably going to get a bowl game too. Who knows what the bowl situation is going to look like then? But they may ultimately get a really good bowl game. They may get one of the playoff games in Kansas City. It's quite possible if they have a dumb stadium. So
like a final or semifinal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They'll have that opportunity. I mean, listen, this puts the Chiefs in play for virtually everything. And what I find fascinating is that for the construction companies and for the amazing sports architectural firms, and I think Populous will end up getting this design. You're talking about the renovation of KU and all the things they did with the Gateway District, the Chiefs, eventually the Royals, wherever they end up. I mean, for the next 5-6 years, construction jobs in Kansas City are going to be plentiful, and this is going to be a new era. This is a whole new generation of fans that are, we all said this when Patrick arrived. There was a whole generation of young fans that didn't know who Lenny Dawson was or Hank Stram or the Super Bowl IV era. They didn't know anything about Chiefs really until Patrick Mahomes, came into our lives and our laps and salvaged this, and we've had 7 years of amazing memories, and now
those Nick, those are probably the fans that are most upset,
probably
because all they know is just dominance and winning and whatever, and you can't really blame them. You feel
they don't know any better.
This is going to happen. This is going to happen every year, but I mean, just look at the history of the game. It is hard to sustain success.
It
really is.
It was time to make this change.
Everybody, San Francisco had their time. Dallas had their time. New England had their time. Happens.
New England had their time twice.
Yeah, the Falcons have had 2 stadiums in the last 20 years, 25 years. The Broncos are going to have a new stadium in the last 2 new stadiums. Look at Tennessee. I mean, I guarantee when they were at that game yesterday, if they had any doubt whatsoever that they were going to move to Kansas, all they had to do was look at that building in Tennessee where the Titans are going to play. It's incredible. It's the most beautiful stadium concept that's being built into reality that I've ever seen.
I forgot to ask you guys on the question board. What's your fond? Well, Lou having never been at Arrowhead. What would be your fond memorable time at Arrowhead? You know what I mean?
For me, I think there were so many, but the one that actually brings me to tears watching it is the Tennessee Titans game when Sammy Watkins is open and you hear the fans say Sammy for Patrick to throw the ball 50 yards down the field. It was like 50 years had melted away. When I watched it the first time, I'm crying. Because the Chiefs were going back to the Super Bowl. I didn't have to say it anymore. I didn't have to talk about it anymore.
I wasn't there.
Right.
But when I can't remember who it was, but the guy picks off Brady. Near the end, was it Charvarius or Mooney, whatever they call him? I started crying. Now, I didn't realize there was a flag on the field because, of course, whatever. But when he picked that off, it was it was just surreal because you knew the team was changing and it was so much better. And you watched this entire season. And I had seen them live earlier that season in Pittsburgh. Patrick threw 6 touchdown passes that day, and it was like the first time, maybe the only time I walked out of that stadium with the Chiefs winning the game. I was so pumped. I kept it clean because Pittsburgh is a city of brawlers, so you don't want to like overstep things. But there was people.
You ain't that damn tall, either, Lou.
But there were people sitting next to me, MF and Ben Roethlisberger. He had almost as good a game as Patrick, but he threw 4 touchdowns that day. He threw a couple of picks, and they're bum, it was like almost like the greatest comeback ever. And they're so it's like that everywhere. As soon as things start going a little different way, and you can't puff out your chest and say, that's my guy. Screw him. Get rid of him. He's an old man.
I think mine's, man. I think mine, I know we talking about Arrowhead Stadium, but my moment when I was going to come to cheers is when they won the first Super Bowl. Yeah. When they won the first, like, against San Francisco, they came back, the rush. I remember I was in the bar, man, and you felt the energy, man. I was like in tears. I was like, damn, bro. It was like the tides was changing. Liquor? Huh?
Was it?
I want no liquor. I want no damn liquor. But the energy was so intense, man. Everybody, the energy, man. When they won their first Super Bowl, that comeback. You kind of got goosebumps when Tyreek makes the catch. Oh man, like, that was amazing.
All right, because that offense and just the way they played, it was almost like it was almost like when you watch the Golden State Warriors, with the Splash Brothers. It was just that avalanche is coming. You just don't know when. And when it starts, forget it. I don't care who the defense was on the other side of the field. It's just like clockwork. And it was just bang, bang, bang. Kelsey scored, Damian Williams. And it's like, holy crap.
That's the best 10 minutes of Chiefs football.
It changed in an instant. But as far as Arrowhead, I wasn't there, but Ward picks off that pass. It was that was amazing. 50 years or whatever just melted away, and like, oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then there's a flag on the play, and like, what? Did somebody touch Brady?
Ford,
what's going on?
Ford. It was like, God.
I thought they got somebody for hitting Brady late or whatever. That would have just been perfect, because now Brady doesn't get another Super Bowl. New England doesn't win the game. And I didn't care if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl or not. Just get Brady out of here.
Oh, my God.
It's all good, man.
That was a hell of a game, too.
Mine was when my grandma took me to the first Chiefs game. Rest her soul. But rest her soul, rest in peace. But again, when we went to the first Chiefs game, it was a playoff game against the Colts, and Priest Holmes stepped out of bounds. I was crying in the stands, because we was hoping that hey, this team is actually going to get there. And hey, I was crying so bad that the cheerleaders came over and said it was going to be okay, because I was sitting right down there where the band used to be. Because they had the band there. What happened to the band? What happened to the band?
It's no need to part on, man.
Damn, bro, you was in tears like that, man. I
was little. I was young.
So many great moments. There's going to be more great moments.
That was the birth of Forrest Todd.
But
the cheerleaders came over and cradled him.
Hey, what's your name? What is your name?
But it was all right, because but other than that, man, also the moment at the Super Bowl with Arizona, when I went down there to watch the Super Bowl in person, and it was incredible watching them win that game. I walked soon. I was walking out the stadium. I called Dre. I said, "I'm done, man. This team."
The Eagles chant was pissing them off.
I said, "I'm out of here." Then next, I hear fumble. I looked up on the screen. I see Nick Bolton running back for a touchdown. I was like, "Okay, we back in this." But other than that, man, hey, we still Chiefs fans. You still on both sides.
Where they play. The Chiefs travel.
You're a Seahawk. Nah,
they didn't leave. They didn't leave the state, or they just crossed the 15 line. They didn't leave. They didn't go to Dallas or nothing else like that.
Chiefs.
Other than that,
the Kansas Chiefs.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. All right, guys, we'll be back on Wednesday. We'll preview the Chiefs and the Broncos, and probably talk more about this stadium stuff. We'll maybe know more details. Check out ChiefsBlitz.com later today. I'll have an article up, and I'll go through everything that I was told and the process and how long this has been in the works.
Hold on. Now you said you was gonna let us know.
I did. Okay, so here we go. So I thought about this today.
Oh,
it was back in January of, let's see. No, it was July of 2024. I have a.
Now you said you'll let us know everything, sir. So
no, I'm not gonna say the name of the person. But I had somebody who I sat down with for about 20, 30 minutes, had a conversation about the Chiefs going to Kansas. And this person's job was to make sure that there was a plan to execute, how long it would take, surveys, sightlines, or not sightlines, but surveys, electrical, infrastructure, what it would take. This person told me back then that the Chiefs were going to Kansas. This was shortly after the vote had failed. And he said, they're definitely coming. It's just a matter of there's so much work that has to be done to prep, to get everything in place to where they can build a stadium that they want. I have been in contact with individuals who are in the know in Missouri and Kansas as far as lobbyists and things like that go. So I think at the end of the day, I was pretty confident this was going to happen. But my source was Direct Impact and was one of the very few people in the very beginning that was in the know, because it was his job to get everything to this point. And obviously he did a pretty good job. I'll say that. But I'm excited. I think this is a good time to take a look at, what we've done. Appreciate Arrowhead for her glory. One of the most unique stadiums ever. There is no facility that has the sight lines like Arrowhead has. It can't be duplicated or replicated. So now it's going to be different. And I hope I live long enough to go there at least a few years.
With that said, we got to get Lou down here because you've never been to Arrowhead.
Right, we're going to get you to Arrowhead next year. It's a done deal.
We got to get them down here. We got to get down here. Whatever it takes.
We talking about 2031, Luke, with a
new
facility built.
No, I'm talking about Arrowhead.
Hold on. 2026 opening day.
Gotta hurry. They may move sooner.
Hell yeah, they might turn them up down next year.
2026, we gotta set some stuff to the side, get Lou down here. If you guys in the chat, we're gonna set up a GoFundMe to get Lou down here.
Lou to Kansas. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today's show. We'll be back Wednesday at 1:30. Again, check on the ChiefsBlitz.com. We'll have more news about the move. The governor is going to be speaking at 3:00, so we'll get all the rest of the details. But the Chiefs are moving to Kansas. The Chiefs also have a new quarterback in Shane Bichelle. 2 games to go before we start talking about free agency and the NFL draft. Woo! Can't wait.
Happy birthday, Hense.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Chiefs Blitz podcast with a real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. For tailgate chatter to post-game debate. We love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late. So tune in live, don't miss the hype. Chiefs Blitz podcast, it's what we type.